And we're live. Hey kids, it's Mike Meyers doing his Monday through Friday Ask Mike Anything stream here on YouTube through the Total Seminars channel. The goal of this particular stream is to give those of us who are locked in with coronavirus an opportunity to talk to each other. In particular, I'm always worried about you folks who are self-isolating right now, who are trying to pass different types of CompTIA certifications from IT Fundamentals through Security Plus, although we can certainly go beyond that, and to give you the opportunity to ask the kind of questions you need to help you get where you need to go. So other than religion and politics, it's pretty much anything you want to talk about today, so feel free to ask me anything. Now, before we start, the first thing I want to let everybody know is that just because y'all are kind enough to show up on here, we are giving away 50% on our practice questions and our simulations. So all you have to do is look underneath here, and you can use the code MMLive406, I believe is the code today. And anyway, the bottom line is that you can go online and using that code, get 50% off across the board on our practice questions and our simulations. So for those of you who are studying, this can be a real benefit. It's a great deal. Honestly, I don't know how anybody could successfully, well, lots of people do. I would be more comfortable if people used more practice questions. People buy videos, people buy books, and these are great things. But to me, the cornerstone of the ultimate way to verify whether you're ready to go or not are practice questions. Total Seminars is one of many, many fine vendors who sell practice questions. I think that my stuff is the absolute best, but there are other tool sets out there. Anyway, the bottom line is for 50% off, this is an amazing deal. Please consider that. Now, on top of that, the other big offering we have is that if you are an instructor who has an active class on a CompTIA certification, Total Seminars is prepared to open the gates for you, and we are giving away anything we can to help you get through these trying times. So practice questions and simulations and videos and whatever you need, man, we are here for you. And in fact, in some situations, now I need to put a big caveat on here because it has to be fairly specific situations. We're even prepared to give away free ebooks. So if you are an active instructor with an active class, at least make sure you have an email address from a real school. All you have to do is contact Kathy Yale. Scott's going to type in her email address there for you. Kathy Yale is our head of sales here at Total Seminars, and she will walk you through that process to help you get free stuff for your students. Now, the other thing I want to mention is that we started this Ask Me Anything just a little over 2 weeks ago, with the attitude being is that we're here for the duration, man. As long as you guys need my help, I will be here for you. So as long as I get 2 or 3 people at least, then I guarantee you that I will be here for you. How long this is going to last at this point in the game, I don't know. But I will be here at least for the next month or so, Monday through Friday at 2 o'clock, Central Daylight Time. And if it keeps going, maybe it'll be Central Standard Time. But I am here for you to help answer the questions that you have for your CompTIA certifications and for technology in general. So don't be afraid to ask any question you might have. Now, today's kind of a slow day. If you missed Monday, man, I'm sorry. It was a great day. We had a very, very exciting day talking about anti-malware tools. And I think we all learned a lot. I certainly learned a lot. And so here it is Tuesday, and things are a little slow. But you know what? I don't like when things are slow. So what I'm going to do is I have a giveaway today. I'm going to be giving away a $25 gift certificate to ThinkGeek.com, which is a subsidiary of GameStop. Sorry about the noise here, guys. I'm working on some stuff here, and I don't have any sewer lines, although I'm about to have them soon, so I apologize, and I hope the noise isn't too intrusive. If it's too much, just start posting, and I'll be really careful. I can make the guys stop, but they're costing me a lot of money, like a lot of money to sit here and fix stuff. So if it's too noisy, let me know. We can turn them off. But at this point in the game, let's just keep going. So one of the funny things is I, Mike Meyers, am probably the biggest hypochondriac you know. I mean, I'm really a hypochondriac, like seriously a hypochondriac. And I have had a little trouble breathing lately. That's not a big deal, but it's a little, usually walking up a flight of steps doesn't wind me, but it's been winding me. So suddenly now I'm a little paranoid. It's like, do I have the virus? Because like 80% of the people have almost, very small reaction to this. And it's like, oh my gosh. So I'm going to go get tested after this today. Thank God Houston actually has some testing locations now. I'm going to get tested. Now, I'll let you guys know. I don't actually know anybody has the coronavirus, not first or second hand. And so I'm a little paranoid. So we'll see what happens. So I took some cold medicine is about it, and we'll see where we go from there. So anyway, so the bottom line is that we are giving away a $25 gift certificate to ThinkGeek.com, which is going to be, it's a subsidiary of GameStop.com. And if you're not familiar with ThinkGeek.com, you should go there. Here, let me pull it up for you. ThinkGeek.com is a wonderful, wonderful place. Whoops. And all kinds of ridiculous, silly toys that you could possibly think of. So, yeah, here we go. Toys and collectibles. Here, do we need, what sounds like fun? How about something that's Nerf? Here we go. So how you doing? Are you up to speed on your Nerf rival Star Wars Stormtrooper blaster? Well, by golly, friends, this is the place you need to go for getting all these crazy toys. They've got caffeine soap on a rope. They've got USB-powered Nerf missiles. Just funny coffee cups. It's a great place. So we're going to be giving that away at the end of this hour here. So just as a little special thing. I'm not going to do this a lot, but every now and then, especially on a slow day like a Tuesday like this, I'm going to make it worth your while to tune in and say hello. Well, I said there wasn't a lot of people, but we're already getting north of 50, so I guess something's working out right, huh? Okay. So I'm going to start going through, and let's see what kind of questions you have here. Jimmy, I actually do have a question I want to go through here. I'm going to do that in just a minute. I had a reader send me an email asking about what does it take to get into IT. So I'm going to pull that up here in just a minute. It's actually an interesting questions. So Andrew Hutz, got your 1001 test on Friday. Good luck to you, man. Are you going to do it online? I'm assuming you are. Gino, mi amigo is here. Artist of Life. Hey, Artist of Life, how's it going? How do Microsoft MTAs fit in with the Microsoft certification changes to Azure? Timothy Bennett. We don't know yet. So the guys here at Total, in particular Scott Jernigan, have been doing some research on it. I can give you some preliminary opinions, which I reserve the right to change my mind on in the not too distant future. And that is, in particular, it seems to me a lot of the MCSE-ish type conversations in terms of administration of Active Directory domains is now fitting more into the Azure world. Scott's always going to tease me because he thinks I never pronounce that right. I pronounce it perfectly for the record. But still, things like adding users, manipulating NTFS permission, dealing with policies, still seems to be on the exams, but they've been moved more to the Azure world. So we'll see what happens. Oh, Batman 9002. I'm Batman. Hey, Mike, do you know how the CertMaster CE works? Is it just a training course, or is there a separate exam to renew your cert? It's a little bit of both on that. We need to be working. I can tell you right now that I can almost guarantee you that CompTIA would treat this as a CE. And we just need to get on the stick and contact CompTIA and see if they could do that. But I believe it's a little bit of both. They certainly have courses under CertMaster, but there's also a number of things like attending a conference, taking different types of classes. It's all listed on the CompTIA website in terms of how the CEs work. I don't have that in front of me right now. It's been my understanding that anybody who is passionately convinced that they have a particular thing that they think is worthy of a CE, that CompTIA for the most part says yes. So it's just a matter of having some contact, filling out a form, and then pretty much you get what you want. Okay, so before we go any further, I want to give you my contact information. This is me. Have to have a little sup of coffee there. Anyway, so here are my email addresses. michaelm@totalsim.com is my work address. desweds@protonmail is my private address. it doesn't really matter to me. You can send to either one with equal clarity. It doesn't matter. My Steam name is Senor Pepe. This is my office number, which, as you guys can imagine right now, we're probably not getting a lot in the office. No offense, guys. I'm not comfortable giving out either my Google Voice phone number or my personal cell phone number. I am glad to do that. I really am. I just don't want to throw it out in a public forum like this where people can abuse it. So sorry about that. And when in doubt, DesWeds. So what I need you to do is get on a keyboard and type DESWEDS. DesWeds is a kinetic acronym. In other words, I can type it with my left finger and never take my hand off the mouse. So that's where DesWeds comes from. I've been using it for almost 30 years and I'm not going to change now. So if you need to get a hold of me, I'm on Skype, I'm on Zoom, I'm on everything. I mean, everything, not kidding. I'm on it all. So don't be afraid to ask, contact me that way. Sometimes it's hard for me to take voice calls just because I'm crazy busy now, more than I've ever been in like 10 years, as you guys might imagine. But I'm always there for you guys. There's nothing worse in the world than studying and hitting a brick wall or working on some kind of technology and you're like on the bleeding edge of technology and you have no one else to go to. If you contact me, odds are good I'm going to tell you where to go. I don't mean that. I mean, I'm going to tell you who you need to contact. Wow, that came off harsh. Who you need to contact in order to get the answers that you need. I'm also more than glad to answer questions myself as I can. So don't be afraid to contact me. Let me throw that up one more time. So if you need to write something down, this is your opportunity to write that down. Okay, everybody got it? All right. Let's get back to work. Let's start checking out some questions here. Oh, Timothy, I just got in trouble from Scott Jernigan because the MTA is the Microsoft Technology Associate. I am unaware that Microsoft has any form of MTA. This is all part of the certificapocalypse that they're talking about with Microsoft, and I think that they're taking out the low-end certs. Again, I'm going to double check that before I say anything. Steve G, good day, everyone. Steve G, are you from Australia? Good day. Good day. All right. PZA is back. Good, good, good. Glad to see you. All right, yep, Scott's double checking. We got lots of our usual deals, 50% off using the MM Live 60 option. Steve G, Master Myers, just call me Mike. You know, come on, man, you know. Is anyone here from Canada? No, but I like to watch Letterkenny. Does that give me anything? I like to watch, my favorite Canadian shows are Letterkenny and Corner Gas are probably my two faves. If you guys don't know what Corner Gas is, you Americans, you need to watch this. It's like the Mayberry RFD of Canadian shows. It was on about 10 years ago. Wonderful, wonderful show. Steve G is looking for a network study buddy. So Steve, you don't necessarily need a buddy from Canada. I mean, this is the kind of place. So Steve, go ahead and keep announcing that on the channel. Throw that out a few times. What you're not telling us is what you want to study. So probably what you need to do right now is say, I'm looking for somebody to help me study X. And then hopefully we can come up with something that'll work for you. All right, so I got to check my phone because I want to deal with this question that I got. It's a really, really good question. Bear with me just a minute. One moment, please. Here we go. All right, so I'm not going to name any names, but here's the question that I got. It's actually an interesting question. You guys ready? Hi, Mike. Watching your stuff. Got my book. I'd love to start diving into certifications, doing exciting opportunities in IT. Okay, so this is a corporate retrainer. Lost my jobs a few weeks before the outbreak. Started with Commodore 64s. That is the computer of your forefathers, if you don't know what it is. Worked on Raspberry Pis, writing some programming in C++. Trying to get an associate's, that kind of fell through. Being able to find a full-time job is something I love with Corona-19 going crazy in the country. 41 years old, family man, motivated, Okay. I understand the question here. All right, so let's go ahead and review this. All right, so mystery person who I hope is on. I can't actually check right now, so I'm going to gamble you're on right now. How do I get a job in IT? I've been looking at IT in a hobbyish way for a while, and I need to get to work. So that's what I'm interpreting. Number one, and this is the one nobody likes to hear from me because it's the truth, and that is certifications are not going to get you a job. What a certification will do for you is it will get your foot in the door. It will get your resume at the top of a stack, but it's not going to get you a job. What's going to get you a job is enthusiasm and energy and successful technical interviews. Those are the things that happen. What's not going to get you a job is a certification by itself. And what's also, and this is a tough one for people to believe, the other thing you're not going to get a job with is job experience. People are like, well, they've got this listing, and the listing says I need 3 years of job experience. That's a lie, okay? It's a lie. What's happening is they would like someone with 3 years of experience, but they're looking for people who have whatever the criteria that job asks for, okay? So stop using your lack of experience as a rationale of saying, I can't apply and try to get that job. The other thing that is that you do have experience, whether it's casual experience, whether it's volunteer experience, whether it's personal experience, you have experience. And especially, every entry-level job I know anymore says 3 years experience. They all do. And you need to ignore that. And you need to just go for it. Yeah, you're going to embarrass yourself a couple of times. Who cares? Get out there and get a job. Get out there and get a job. Where's Eileen Batzler when I need her the most? Eileen, are you on right now? Text me something, will you, boss? I don't see her. Oh, Eileen, I need you so badly and you're not here for me. No big deal. Anyway, the bottom line is that, so the first thing you do is just go get a job. Pursue certification, that's great. When you start off, look at Best Buy. Another place that hires techs like crazy is Walmart. Yeah, it's only $15 an hour, but it'll get you started. So there are lots of places like that where you can start getting some real work right now. And I'm telling you, having sales experience selling electronics is something to put on your CV. So don't be afraid of that. The other issue I run into, especially when you were talking that you're 41 years old and a family man, I interpret that as you can't move anywhere. And if I missed something in your message, I apologize. If you want to have a life in IT, you're not going to be able to stay in your own hometown. You don't get to sleep in your mother's basement. You've got to get out there, okay? You've got to take a shot, and you've got to move forward. Move to a larger city. Do whatever you have to do to be in the place where the work is, and you will be successful. Demand for techs right now, okay, the COVID virus has put a blip on it. Not going to argue that point at all. But demand for techs has never been higher. I got a call from a very, very large federal agency who is desperate to come up with ways to bring more technicians into the workforce and is prepared to pay a lot of money to help out. I have nothing else in this. I'm not in a position to talk any more than that, but the reality is demand is unreal. And if you're applying for jobs and failing, I would start to say things like, maybe you should stop wearing the Star Trek uniform on your technical interviews. I would say things like, how's your hygiene? Sorry guys, we're Asperger-y folks and we don't worry about combing our hair and stuff like that, but that could be a big issue. Are you maintaining eye contact? Is your resume a piece of garbage? There's lots of other stuff that comes into play. Demand is there. And if you're failing to get a job, again, the COVID virus is a weird little blurb that is going to change things for a few months, but not much longer than that, then you need to seriously consider how you're presenting. So hopefully, a mystery person whose name I'm not naming, who has my email address, I hope I helped you a little bit. Please don't be afraid to follow up with another email to me on a personal basis, and we can build and grow from there. Yes, you need to get your certifications. There's no argument to that whatsoever, but you need to don't use your lack of certification as an excuse to not go to work. Okay? I'll step off my soapbox now. All right. Could use a theme song to start the show. I want to rock and roll all night. Okay, it's about as close as I get there. All right. Paul Murphy wants to do the Doors. No. Although I can actually sing Jim Morrison because he's a baritone. Mike, I have a question on antivirus on Windows 10. Is it worth getting a third-party AV, or is Windows 10 effective enough? In my opinion, and we talked about this big time yesterday, and that is I've been very, very happy with the Windows Defender, which isn't really called Defender anymore, but whatever. The built-in Windows firewall has done a great job, and I've been using that exclusively now for more than 3 years. And I've been really happy with it. We looked at some amazing tools, and I've been real happy with that. The one place where third-party tools very much still come into play is on my Android devices. And we talked about Bitdefender for Android devices being a wonderful and powerful tool and well worth getting. Artists of Life, port forwarding again? I tried port forwarding. It works locally, but not from the internet. After some research, I found that my WAN IP of the router is different from the public. Okay. You found out that the WAN IP of your router is different from the public IP that Google gives. Okay, first of all, I don't care what Google gives. I'm going to log on to my router through its web interface, and I'm going to see what its WAN IP address is. That is legitimate. So when you say what Google gives, I guess I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. So for me to know what the WAN IP address is, I log into the router, which is probably going to be 192.168x.1. Type in my username and password. I look at the WAN settings, and I look at whatever the IP address is. That is the public IP address. So Artists of Life, I guess my question would be is, then did you go to another computer outside your network? You can use your phone, for example, is a great way to do that. Do you go in there and then type in the WAN IP address and then make sure your port forwarding works? For example, if you're doing port forwarding of 8080, you have to type in whatever your WAN IP address is in your web browser, :8080. Got that? Otherwise, it's not going to work. So, Artists of Life, send me an email, please, and we can talk about this in a more direct manner. I think there's some tiny detail here you're missing, and I'm more than glad to help you out. But what you're going to have to do is contact me directly. Send me an email. We'll talk about this. We'll probably get together on the phone, and then we'll figure it out. Batman 9000. Oh, dude, you missed such a great stream yesterday. And it's so crazy that everybody who followed that stream now gets $5,000. I am so sorry you missed that, man. It was a great opportunity. PCN, it was bought out by GameStop, and but all their fun toys are still there, and we're in great shape. Gino still hates Panda. I like Panda. Paul Murphy, it's the yoga. I did yoga. I was yogaing today. It's so funny because this gal is like the perfect yoga instructor for old fat people, and like we're working up to downward facing dog. I know, it makes me laugh, you know. All my redneck buddies right now are probably having chest pains going, what's going on? Yeah, Mike's doing yoga. Paul Murphy, don't fall for the rectal. Okay, you're hilarious. I'm so going to get tested, though. Paul Murphy, I want to party with you, cowboy. There you go. CJS already got, there you go. We're talking about people coming up with study buddies. And, you know, you guys understand is that, you know, a big part of this course, this talk is where you get to ask questions. So, you know, set up your own little study buddy, get your Zoom thing going, but still show up here, especially if you're like, well, I don't think that's right. You know, I don't think you're right either. And then, you know, bring them here and we can ask about those questions. Is it US dollar price of them all ad? I'm not sure. Yeah, it's all US dollar price. Andrew Hutz. I'm familiar with the motherboard layout, configuring Wi-Fi, IP config, setting up RAID, and configuring mobile devices. What are some other things I should do prepare for the hands-on questions? You got a big part of it there, Andrew. You know, when you say hands-on questions, I'm going to call it the simulation. They have a better term for it that doesn't. I cannot. Performance-based questions. Yes, I pulled it out of my brain. Okay, those are actually some of the big ones right there. The other thing is that you know, when you have a network, remember that everything has an IP address, right? You know, and that IP address could be static or DHCP, and makes sense. Also keep in mind that if you're running some type of server software, that means you're going to be listening on a particular port. So if you're running a SSH server, that means you're going to be listening on port 22, right? Okay. All right. But basically, Andrew, I think you're on a good path there. I think you're doing well. Joe Sosa, man, good to see you again, brother. Are you not into Legos? No, not into Legos or Minecraft or anything with blocks. Sorry. There, Joseph, look, you got JS saying he wants to study with you. Isn't it amazing? I just bring people together. It's who I am. It's my idiom. So, LCK, don't be afraid to join in study groups if you're at a beginner level. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, just do it. All right. LCK, I'm telling you, join in with these guys and you know, figure something out. Maybe send each other email addresses online here or something like that. Or you can contact me and I'll be glad to disperse it if you don't want to put things out publicly. Mike, hi Mike. Mike, good to see you, brother. I'm taking the online A+ exam tomorrow, taking a break from studying to watch your stream. Yeah, Mike, you know, if you're doing it tomorrow, today is not a day to be studying anymore. Today is your day to relax. Usually my rule is starting about 18 to 24 hours before you take the exam, just put it down. Just put down the practice questions, just relax. If you feel you're properly studied, just take it easy. You know, go play some golf. Well, frisbee golf. You know, you can do that by yourself. You can stay 6 feet away from people. You know, watch some YouTube. Catch up on your Parks and Recreation binge watching or whatever you're into. But I think it's important to just take a break, Mike, and be ready, you know, because you are ready. I have complete confidence that you're ready. Haroom Abdullah, no, I'm going to go get myself tested, but I think I'm okay. I'm just such a hypochondriac. I really am paranoid about this. Sosa, Jao Sosa, I am studying for the 1001 and 1002. If you're there, you go. Look at you guys connecting. Jao Sosa, why don't we create a group for that on Telegram or Discord? That is really up to you guys. So I'll be glad to facilitate it. I will not be the leader of that group. I'll drop in, assuming that the time isn't outrageous. It's not between 2 and 3 on Central Daylight Time here in the United States. But I'm always glad to help out. But, you know, keep in mind, I mean, the goal of this time for us to be together is for me to answer questions. So especially if you're putting together a study group, is that sometimes you'll be in a situation where you have other questions, and then that's the place to do it. With that attitude in mind, let's pull my contact up one more time. And then this way, if you guys want to contact me and I can act as a somebody you can talk to set this up, I'll be glad to do that for you. All right. Bum, bum, bum. Suman Joseph. Hi, Mike. Good morning from India. Wow, man, I'm so impressed, you guys. It's got to be like what? It's got to be like where 12:30 in the morning. Good Lord. So thank you, Suman, for showing up. I'm preparing for CompTIA Plus certification. I'm without any prior IT knowledge other than using them for my work as a healthcare documentation employee. Well, Suman, I mean, that's what A+ is for. Most people consider A+ as the entry level certification for people who want to become technicians. There is a precursor certification from CompTIA called IT Fundamentals. In my opinion, IT Fundamentals is more of a very generic user level certification. What is a database? What is a spreadsheet? What is a wireless access point? Being able to log into an SSID. It's a wonderful certification. And my buddy Scott Jernigan wrote an amazing book on that particular topic. But for people who want to become the mechanics of computers, consider A+ as the entry level. So, Saman, don't be afraid of that. It's designed for entry level. If you're watching my videos or reading my books, I work very hard to put it in such a way that it starts with absolute beginners. So do not be afraid of that. You're doing fine. Artist of Life is back. Are you going to ask me another port forwarding question? Is there a way to prevent people on a network from copying files on a thumb drive, other than disabling the USB ports because there are mice? Okay. Yeah, well, first of all, number one, you can get locking flash drives, and they have little keypads on it to prevent read-write access. But like, I've done a lot of work with federal government folks that carry guns and have 3 letters in their initials, and usually their rule sets are to shut off USB. Now you're like, but I have a keyboard and a mouse. Well, you can selectively shut things off. So that doesn't necessarily negate that possibility. But the other thing is that PS2 keyboards are so much better than USB keyboards. But I don't want to get into that too much. But there's nothing within Windows itself that can lock flash media, but you can do a lot of stuff with the thumb drives themselves. But don't be afraid. You can individually shut off ports. Would probably be the first way I would go. I guess I would like a little more details on what you're actually talking about there. Oh, Joe Sosa, I am already watching it with CC and okay, man, you're a busy guy. Alan Duggan. Hey, Mike, could you explain the grandfather, father, son backup plans and security? Sure, we can do that. All right. So I'm going to make this simpler than what's in the book, but the idea behind grandfather, father, and son is that in a backup scenario, you're going to be keeping 3 cycles of backups. And the idea behind those is to, you know what? Let's do that tomorrow. I'm just realizing that I could probably put a few graphics on here to make this a lot easier. Scott Jernigan. Tomorrow we are doing grandfather, father, son backup methodology, okay? And sorry, Alan, I could talk through it, but I think I could do a much better job if you let me get some of my presentations up on this. I have them, I just don't have them with me. But I would be glad to do that for you. So we'll save it for tomorrow if you don't mind. Brandon Mulville. Oh, you're from Ireland. I can do a very bad Irish accent. Hi, Mike. I'm Brandon from Ireland and hope to be starting my first IT job in the morning. Okay, you should go to sleep, brother. Doing remote level 1 IT support. Thank you for your videos. Dude, you got a job. Fantastic. Absolute, well done, man. I mean, that's the most important part to all this stuff. So congratulations, Brendan. Please come back. I want to hear about your job. I want you to send me some messages tomorrow or later this week talking about all your trials and tribulations. Black Bash Entertainment. Can a restore point from computer A be... No. Restore points are uniquely to individual systems, and you cannot transform from one to another. Doesn't happen. There we go. LCK and JS are all talking. Jao Sosa, look at that. They're starting a study group. You guys have to call it the We Love Mike Meyers Study Group. We, WLMMSG. That's the name of your group. You have to invite me too, because I'll drop in and say hello. David Rush, helping out. Look at you, Dave is such, thank you, Dave, for helping out. I am terrible on being able to dig up and find all these things so quickly. So Dave Rush is a hilarious guy, and Dave's been working for me for almost 10 years. Dave is one of those guys, like, we're trying to find some weird piece of hardware. It's like, we could sure use a, 2-meter parabolic dish for, satellite reception. And Dave's like, I got one in the dining room. So Dave's a good guy, and it's always fun. Tolowit, one way to get an IT job is join the Air Force. Yeah, that's absolutely true. By gosh, in the military, there are lots of opportunities for jobs out there. I keep moving this table, sorry. So here in the States, joining the military, there is the downside that you might be in a scary place with a gun, but you absolutely can do that. And Steve G is in Canada. Very good. Kelvin Tran, message retracted. What was he saying? Why did he have to retract that? Suman Joseph, I'm going through your training course on Udemy. All right. Your teaching is so engaging and fun. So engaging and fun-oriented. And I am enjoying going through it. So good. All right. Thank you, Suman. I appreciate it. Very good. Paul Murphy, when I reply to someone in chat, how do I get in the orange? I have no clue. Like none. Scott Jernigan might have some insight there for you, but there are little things you can throw in there, and I don't know. Batman 9002, isn't corner gas great? I mean, it's just a wonderful, heartwarming. If you want to have a sense of what Canada is all about, just the zeitgeist of being a Canadian, watch Corner Gas. And if you got kids, they can watch it too. It's just a great show. EB Test Dam 77. Hi, I'm from KSA. KSA? Kiss somethings? Yeah, okay, we won't touch that. All right, Steve G, I think you're going to start getting some people there, brother. There you go. Look at Scott Jernigan. Use the @ key and select a name. I want to try that. Abdelghani Draoui. How did I do? Hi, Mike. What are the IT specialties that we can complete, I'll bet is what you're saying, remotely? Thanks in advance. What are the IT specialties I can complete remotely? None. There's none you can complete remotely. I think what you're trying to say is, what are some of the certifications you can complete remotely? And the answer to that is pretty much all of them. It's just a matter of diving in. But the big thing here is that I get nervous when I hear questions like that, because people are like, what's the easiest way for me to make money in IT? That's what I'm hearing. I don't know that's what you're saying, but that's what I'm hearing. And the answer is, number one, find your passion in IT. You might be a system builder. You might be somebody who likes networks. You might be a router configurator. You might be somebody who enjoys doing network administration. You might think cloud is the thing. Take time. Go ahead and get that job as a salesperson at Best Buy or Micro Center or whatever it is. And then you take your evenings to explore and figure out where your passions are. You're going to go through some dead ends, I'm going to tell you right now. But you're going to find what excites you and where do you want to go. Even if you find something like that, you might find yourself 3 years later going, I don't like this anymore. And that's okay. One of the great things about IT is that it's very easy for us to jump from one specialty to another. Now, there's a certain point where that might be a little bit more difficult, but it won't be for the first 5 years of your career. And in all honesty, if you're not making, I got to be real careful about how I say this. In the United States, the equivalent of $80,000 to $100,000 a year within 5 years, you're probably, either you're chasing a passion that doesn't pay well, which is okay. Snapping in RAM, system builds are notoriously not well paying, or you're just not pursuing things as hard as you would like to. So Something to consider. Tolowit, Commodore 64 rocked. It did. In fact, I don't have a Commodore. I do have a Commodore 64. What am I saying? I have a Commodore 64. I also have a VIC-20. I also have a Timex Sinclair 1000. I have all those. And I do like playing with them from time to time, Tolowit. You always bring up old stuff, dude. Jason Wareham. Hey, Mike, just wanted your opinion on something I'm going through with A+ Learning at the moment, but eager to sink my teeth in your Network Plus. Is it better to finish A+ before moving on? Generally, yes. There are situations where it wouldn't be. You can start in IT with Network Plus, but don't ever bother touching a system. I mean, that's where the A+ really pays off, is working with individual systems. Here, I'll make it easy. Stick with A+. Gino, no Star Trek uniform. Sorry, dude. And by the way, I didn't just say that as a joke. I talk to people who hire nerds all the time, and Star Trek uniforms or Doctor Who and super goth, and yeah, it's a problem. Here you go, Gino, right there, brother. Live long and prosper. If you can do it with both hands, you're really cool. If you can do this, you're even cooler. But if you can do this, watch, watch, watch. You guys got that? Got that? Watch. Here we go. Wait, ready? Here we go. Ha, 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 ha. All right. Drink a lot of beer and stare in front of a mirror for 2 hours. You can do that too. Fry's VXR. Do you work for Fry's by any chance? Or is that, where? Kevin Tran. Hey, Mike, more Cisco. Kelvin, working on it, brother. We'll see what I can do. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. I'm more of a hands-on person. Is Help Desk a bad start compared to IT support? No. Help Desk is a perfectly good place to start. What is important is that you get a job and you make money. That's the important thing. These guys who sit around going, I've got to get all these certifications before I can get a job, are making a horrible mistake. Get a job. Go to work, okay? You study for certifications on the evenings and weekends to get your next job. You do not study for certifications in the hope that one day if you have enough certs, you'll get a job. In fact, people with a lot of certifications and no experience are a red flag. You want a couple of certs tops and you get a job. People will hire you. So I'm getting all kinds of errors here telling me that there's buffering, but we'll see what happens. Brandon Mulvihill. With the COVID downturn, more level 1 techs are needed to keep some companies up and running. Yes, they absolutely are. I know a lot of companies that are hiring right now. Amazon's a great example. You can sit at home and work for Amazon right now. I don't know how well it pays, probably $15 an hour, $20 an hour tops, but you just go check it out. Haroom Abdullah, what do you think about this Google IT Support Assistant course on Coursera? It's not a recognized certification. Coursera is not a bad company in terms of generating knowledge for yourself. But I'm not a fan, is all I'm going to say on that. That doesn't make it bad. It just, I think there's better paths to go. Like getting a job, right? Going for your A+, Net+, Security+. This has been working now for 30 years. Why try to change the dance now? TS, hi Mike, had to make an important errand, but I'm trying you on my V27. How's that working, brother? All right. Michelle Mulvihill, hey, hi Mike, watching you for the last ages, and I am thinking of doing it over him. I don't know what that means. I'm confused. I'm so sorry. It's not Legolas, it's Lego. You're hilarious. I got to tell you guys, Dave Rush is a hoot, man. He's the kind of guy, you could just drink a beer with him. Dave's not a big drinker, but just the stories. Dave Rush used to be a commercial airline pilot. I hope that's not top secret, Dave. And it's always been fun to have him around. Dave looks at stuff a lot differently than the rest of us do. All right, so it's 12:45, so I got to throw in my usual thing. Number one, here's my contact information. If you guys need to get a hold of me, this is a way to do that. Also, keep in mind, if you are kind enough to show up on this stream, we are giving away all of the practice questions and simulations on the Total Seminars exam. All you have to do is go to the link down here right below me and use the code MMLive406. Scott Jernigan will correct me if it's not there. And go ahead and 50% off all practice questions, 50% off. I keep pushing this table. I'm just so vehement today. 50% off, and please take advantage of that. Also, if you are an instructor who's teaching an active course in CompTIA, we at Total Seminars are ready to open the doors to help you out with free stuff. Now, you have to be an instructor, and you have to have an active course right now that's being disrupted because of the COVID virus. If that is the case, you need to contact Kathy Yale, and here's her email coming up right now. It's kathy.y@totalsem.com, kathyy@totalsem.com. And by the way, don't try to trick her. Kathy is an expert at determining if you're a real instructor or not, so don't even bother. You could try, you'll entertain her, about be the only thing. Also keep in mind that today we are giving away a $25 gift certificate to thinkgeek/gamestop.com. $25 gift certificate, so you can get anything kind of fun and cool. We'll be giving that away here just before we close out for the end of the day today. Back to questions. Lots of questions. This is from TS. Mike, I was told that Security Plus carries more weight in the marketplace than Net Plus. Do you agree? Yes. I make a joke about Network Plus. I say Network Plus is the most important certification you'll never need. Network Plus allows you to learn about the core aspects of network technology without the bias of Microsoft or Cisco or anybody else. You want to learn about DNS from a Microsoft standpoint, you're going to learn about DNS in terms of Active Directory, enabled DNS zones and forward lookup zones and stuff like that. It's weird. I mean, if you want to learn about VLANs from a Cisco standpoint, you're going to be looking at weird ways that Cisco, they're not wrong, it's just, it's proprietary-esque, you know. So I think Network Plus, in terms of how good it's going to make you feel at the end of the course, there is few certifications other than Network Plus that do that. But yes, in terms of getting your resume up to the top of the stack, Security Plus is going to have more oomph. We'll not argue with that at all. Abdelghani Drahi. Dude, I'm just going to call you Bob or something. Guys, can you shed some light about having to deal with the two distinct models, the OSI and TCP/IP? What's the difference? Well, they're very different models, but I'll make it real easy for you. The fact that you're even asking about the TCP/IP model makes me wonder if you're looking at older stuff. The CompTIA only looks at OSI anymore. TCP/IP has been dumped, so just stick with OSI. Suman Joseph, hi Mike, how many months can I go for A+ exams? All the months you want. First of all, keep in mind the A+ are, well, all CompTIA exams are updated every 3 years. So in my opinion, if you're going to go for a cert, number one, the first thing you do is pay your money and sign up for a date to take the exam. Sign up. So most people can do about 120 hours for the A+, for example. So, you know, if you had full-time, then that could be, you know, just a few weeks. If you could do an hour a week, then that's 120 weeks. So you have to kind of figure out what that time frame is for yourself, then make a decision, extend that time period out, and schedule the exam. Heat and pressure makes diamonds, man. And I hear so many people like, well, you know, I have your 801 and 802 book, and I took the 801, but I never quite got around to the 802. It's because you didn't put any heat and diamonds on yourself. Schedule the test. Make sure that you have that level of obligation. How many months? You have all the months you want, up to 3 years. But why do that? What you need to do is say, I need this many hours of practice. I can do this many hours per day / week, whatever it is. And then you extrapolate that, and that's when you schedule the exam. Schedule it. Pay the money, do it. By the way, Total Seminars has great voucher deals too, so we can also talk about that. So, Suman Joseph, again, A+ doesn't assume any IT background, like 0 IT background. My books assume you know nothing other than how to click on a mouse and how to start your computer. So yeah, don't use that as an excuse. Get on it. As they would say in Letterkenny, pitter patter. Paul Murphy, Mike, did I ever visit the CompTIA headquarters? Many times. Haven't been there in a while. In Lombard, Illinois. I've hung out with Todd Thibodeau, the president, CEO of president and/or CPO of CompTIA. Yeah, it's a nice place. All right, we have 8 minutes left. LCK, man, hey, did you get your group together, brother? There's a lot scrolling past that I'm ignoring, so sorry about that. Oh my goodness, so many messages started to pull in. So LCK, okay, yeah, thank you very much. You're welcome, brother. Gino, took the IT fundamentals. I could get a feel for that. I used Mike's book, 843. Yeah, you probably don't want to put IT fundamentals on a resume. Well, I would think that as a user, IT fundamentals could be handy, but not as a tech. Okay, yes, Scott, we're going to do grandfather, father, son. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Boivu Shafiq, I am so sorry that I'm not pronouncing names properly. I apologize. What search should I start with to become an ethical hacker? See, I don't know who you are. What skill sets do you have? Where's your knowledge level? Do you know TCP from IP? Can you name some ports? Could you break down a packet? Do you know what an attack vector is? I would need you to ask me more questions. So, Boivu, I'm going to put my contact information up there one more time. This is just for you, man. Just for you. I need you to give me a contact and we can talk about this stuff in more detail, okay? Cree, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I am so sorry. I am terrible at acronyms, man. Don't hold that to me. People should do the job unless they actually like it. Pointless doing a job you don't like. Michelle, nailed it. Why do something you don't like? If you're getting to IT because you think you're making money, then that's a mistake. I mean, if you just want to sacrifice everything to make money through hard work, become a plumber, become an electrician, become a pipe fitter. Those guys make far more money than we do up front and desperate need of people in their trades. Awan Langazer. How did I do? Hello, Mike. I really appreciate your course and make some. Thanks, man. The main reason I started doing all these courses a long time ago is because everybody else's courses sucked. They never made sense to me. So I write books. I do videos. I write practice questions. I do this stuff the way I wish somebody had done it for me when I was learning. And I think I've been successful. I'm the #1 and #2 computer books on Amazon.com pretty much every month for years. So I hope I'm doing the right thing. I work really hard at that. I mean, man, you want to make me sad? Tell me that my books are hard to understand. That will crush me. It's like, oh no, I want people to be able to understand. I want to entertain. I want people to grow. I don't really care about you I care about you passing the certs, but I want you to become a great technician first and foremost. And if you are a great technician, you will pass certifications. So that's really kind of my philosophy on that kind of stuff. According to your experience, what will be the actual crisis impact on the IT job market from an actual crisis? Yeah, the crisis is this lack of IT technicians. There's never been a better time to be pursuing certifications as there is today. This little blip of the coronavirus is going to be gone in 3 to 4 months, and demand is going to go through the roof. Demand's through the roof now. Problem is most people don't want to move. Most people, I need to stay in Podunk, Indiana, or whatever it is. Most people are like, well, I don't want to do a job that makes me work from midnight to late in the morning. There's all kinds of great excuses. And from an entry level, you grab what you can grab, always. I have to work Saturdays? I can't do that. My son has Little League. Go be a plumber. All right, Mr. Sosa, it looks like you got a pretty good group going. How are we doing on time? All right, it's 2:56. Okay, let's go ahead and do our competition. Are you guys ready for a $25 gift certificate from GameStop/ThinkGeek? Let's go ahead. What do we want? What kind of fun toys can we get? How about some collectibles? How about some keychains? There you go. How about a Captain Crunch keychain? For only $3.99 on a $25 gift certificate, you can go a lot further than that, kids. All right, so we have to come up with some completely unfair and arbitrary methodology of competition. You guys ready? You'd think I'd have planned this ahead of time. I didn't. Oh, Scott Jernigan, I'm momentarily disadvantaged in terms of thought here. What is completely unfair and arbitrary that we can play on this one about? I'm coming up with it. Bear with me. Yeah, you guys now know how carefully I plan all of these things. Yeah, very good. All right, so let's make it totally unfair. Are you ready? I am going to pick a number, and I'm going to send it to Scott Jernigan right now. You ready? I have sent Scott Jernigan a number. And, yeah, not 42. You're hilarious, Scott. I have sent Scott Jernigan a number, and it is a number between 1 and 1,000. The person who is closest to this without going over, got it? Without going over, wins a $25 gift certificate from GameStop/ThinkGeek.com. All right, folks, you ready? Start typing in those numbers. Christina Hall. Hey, Chris, how's it going, killer? All right, you guys ready? Start typing in some numbers. Here we go. Brendan, you're hilarious. Come on, guys. Don't type in twice. I'm watching you. Come on, type them in. Len Myers, my little brother, on. All right, I'm starting to see doubles here. All right, going once. We're done. We're done. Stop it. Stop. All right, so there's too many doubles here. Where did it go? I lost it. I lost it. It was here. Stick with me. All right, so my number was 589. So I declare the winner to be Jimmy Raiskovian. Jimmy Raiskovian. Jimmy, you have won a $25 gift certificate to GameStop/ThinkGeek.com. In order to retrieve that, Jimmy, you already know how to get a hold of me, so go ahead and get a hold of me that way you already have. Got it? Wink, wink. And we'll make sure that we get a gift certificate out to you. Congratulations to you, guy. Well done, sir. Guys, I know we had a lot of questions I did not get to. We will be here tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time, and we will go through all of these. Any questions I didn't hit, feel free to send, just post them again. Also, you have my email address. If you have a question that is a burning issue for you, just go ahead and send it to me via email, and that way I'll have it pre-processed. And also, we're going to do grandfather, father, and son tomorrow, and I'll have my pretty graphics up so it makes more sense. So until then, my brothers, this is your Uncle Mike saying good night. Good night.